come to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. There has been a sharp rise in anti-Kikuyu rhetoric online, driven by a clique of bloggers who are supposedly bankrolled by the state. We may differ politically on a number of issues, but as a country, we should never entertain the idea of ethnic division, because that is the only tool remaining for those in power to make sure that you are blinded at the ballot. It's baffling that while during the day state officials are packaging themselves as unity champions, but just later in the night, they are funding ethnic vitriol online, and people pointing finger at some individuals in government. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a trend that must be called out in its raw figure. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And I want to say thank you very much for supporting our video. Subscription is absolutely free. When you subscribe to a channel, you'll be getting notifications whenever we publish our videos. And so for you not to miss our analysis, objective, in-depth and well-researched, you need to subscribe to this channel. And I want to demonstrate to you how this ethnic vitriol, the anti-Kikuyu rhetoric, is being done and what is the danger. I want to believe it is backward and barbaric for the country, or rather for the rulers, to take this direction. When Ojwang was killed inside a police cell, some people tried to push a narrative that Rigathi Gachagua and his team were the ones that had done it, until they realized that the public was not buying that nonsense. And when now people appeared before the courts, they realized it was never politically viable to link Rigathi Gachagua to some of those things. And when the protests happened, the state tried 27 counties. Protest was witnessed in 27 counties. But the state bloggers were quick to spin a narrative that it was the Kikuyu population that are revolting around against the president. It is very clear that the president's popularity is a national crisis, and not even Raila Odinga can be able to salvage it. And anyone trying to push a narrative of the protest, or rather the revolt is against William Ruto, is just trying to get a fortune from where there is none. There is no fortune because the protests, the revolt is a national call. You cannot narrow it down to one region. And I think Oscar Sudi should be called out. I saw him threatening Huruma MCA. That Huruma MCA is someone from Kikuyu land, that allegedly he is the person who organized the protest, without a lot of evidence, and doing name calling and profiling an individual. And so there's so many leaders in Eldoret.
Pia nataka nishukuru sana MCA wangu wa Langas, Bwana Moya. Sasa hiyo ndio uongozi, ndugu yangu. Usiletewe shilingi milioni 1 ati upeleke watu kwa barabara, ati watu wako, ati sijui mnaenda kupigania nini. 207 208 mnajua ile kitu tulipitia. Na ndio mimi nasema, kwa hiyo Wasingishu, kama unajisikia sana utaki kuishi Wasingishu, toka polepole. Usituletee mambo ya vita, usituletee mambo ya chuki, usituletee mambo ya ukabila. Na wewe MCA wa Huruma, I warned you, don't take advantage. Ufikiri sisi ni wajinga sana, pesa rigiji unakuja utuambia ati ni pesa, ati ni Gen Z. Ukapanga wakora hapo walivu, wezi. Sikia wewe MCA wa Huruma, kama wewe uko tayari na vita, sio Wasingishu. Toka pole, tafuta kwingine ya kufanya vita, my brother. Ile tuliona 207 208 yenye ndugu yako Gachagua anasema ilikuwa kama lunch. We, usijaribu kutuletea. Ukisikia umetosheka na wazingishu na huruma, toka pole, amia wa Munyoro ama uamie kwenye unafikiria wanataka vita. Lakini wazingishu, please. Na sio wewe nani Wanjoi. Nikwambie, si ati sisi tumeshindwa kuleta vijana, my friend. Sasa mulienda mkapiga biashara mwingine hapo mkisema ati sijui mnafikiria ni ya nani. Sasa mimi nikuulize wewe, tukianza kwenda barabara, si tutapoteza watu wetu? Wewe unajua ni watu wangapi wa jamii wenu wako na biashara hapo town hiyo? And we protect them. Even 207 208 sisi wengine tuliumia roho sana tukijaribu kuprotect ndugu zetu. Kama unajisikia unataka vita, tafuta kwingine pa kwenda kufanya vita, sio wasingishu. Kama unajisikia umetosheka na hiyo sehemu kuishi, hama pole utuaje na hao wengine wenye tunataka amani, tunataka kuishi na amani, tunataka kama mandugu, watoto wetu waoane. Hiyo ujinga usituletee wewe. Tafadhali tafuta wa Munyoro huko, mwende mpange chaos kwingine. Yaani usituletee sisi. Next time rudia tena utaona.
Sudi did not have any evidence against anyone, but he picked a fight with the Ruma MCA. And this is what I'm saying. For those who want the best for this country, this narrative is dangerous. This narrative is a tired one. And then I ask, if you're doing that, then what is the difference between you and the things you accused Rigathi Gachagua of doing? For over time, Rigathi has been accused of spreading the tribal narrative. Then the people who are running, the people who are now masquerading as unity champions, are the ones that are running with the narrative of Kikuyu acrimony. I think the country does not have a space for that. Ruto is unpopular. You can't change that. And what am I saying? This was Narok County when Rigathi Gachagua visited.
Kimasai, tukasema mayeu. Nani ataka mambo ya Ruto? Mambo ya Ruto? Mayeu, mambo ya Ruto? Naitwa Omingo Magara, ambaye ni party leader wa People's Democratic Party. Na kule Kisii na vyama tatu, Kenya National Congress, Kenya Social Congress na PDP, tumeamua kuvunja.
He was received. The people chanted one time. You know, it's all over. So I just don't know whether others are also Kikuyu protesters. And I am saying it's a danger that is being used to justify some extrajudicial means. It's a window, it's a loophole being created, and the country must be wary. I want you to look at these few instances. Ndiangui Kinyagia, one of Twitter bloggers, has been missing for the last 10 days. I really appreciate Babu for offering pro bono services to appear in the court with Martha Karua, demanding justice and pushing DCI to produce Ndiangui Kinyagia a day after DCI had maintained that they're not holding him. The image of Babu with Martha Karua in court demanding justice for Kinyagia actually shows what we need to say in this country, that injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere, and it doesn't matter who. Those who killed Ojwang, never wondered, never bothered whether he was a Luo, and Raila is in broad-based. When Baraza shot Karuke, the hawker in Kisumu, in Nairobi, did he ever ask for a minute whether that hawker is a Kikuyu, a Luo, or a lawyer? None. And so those using it to justify, like now as if it is cool for it to, we are actually justifying an illegality that is flaming the country. And we really, I saw this photo of Babu in the court and I feel this is it. An activist even disrupted the court proceedings demanding justice.
Your Lordship, that is all, Your Lordship. I request that at this point, Your Lordship, my clients to give them a bit of time.
Enough with the lies. Your clients are the abductors. Go tell them to produce the second petitioner in court. Enough with the lies. You must stop the abductions. You must stop extrajudicial killings. We will not come here to listen to your stories. You have abducted someone. His family is crying. And you are here telling us stories. Enough is enough. Extrajudicial killings and disappearances must end now. We must stop this madness. We must stop these evil things you are doing to us. It is not right to abduct someone and not present them to court. And you are here telling us stories about... Let me speak. I will sit down. This is not right. Why should they abduct someone and instead of producing them to court, they come here to start telling us stories about, I don't know, my client did this. Your client what? Then what are we supposed to do? If the people who are supposed to protect us have turned out to be the greatest threat to our security.
Can we proceed, Senior Counsel?
Yes, sir. Well, we have heard
that the DCI lawyers should not play games in the court and should actually make sure that they produce the missing blogger. And you fail to know that this issue of Kikuyus, this Kikuyu vitriol, ethnic, you know, okay, it's very disgusting, by the way. In the court today, I don't know the tribe of Chachamwita, Justice Chachamwita, and I want to believe it doesn't matter his tribe. But he was there asking DCI that stop giving us dramas. Can you produce Ndiangui Kinyagia?
How much time? I wanted that person, whether he's dead or alive.
As indicated from our affidavit, clearly you've seen the investigations are ongoing.
They have said their story.
Yes.
You have said your story.
Yes.
I'm looking at the two stories.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Lordship, in terms of timing, Your Lordship, we leave it to the discretion of the court. We cannot with certainty say that 3 or 7 days.
We are not interested in any other thing
Yes.
other than the human being.
I am also interested, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
So when can we get this human being?
And Your Lordship, that's I'm saying it will be very difficult for me to give.
You know, Mr. Maro, tell your clients,
Yes.
and these people, I'm also speaking to these people.
Yes.
There is no way a Kenyan will get out of his abode and vanish from this world without trace. It's not humanly possible.
That's correct, Your Lordship.
So let's stop doing drama and stick to what the Constitution speaks to.
Yes.
We may not like it. We gave it to ourselves. Those are the words. And the future generation. So when can we have this person? He may be hiding, I don't know. Yes? Because your people, clients are pursuing him.
Yes, Your Lordship.
And he has to live like an animal. So, when can I have this person in court?
Your Lordship.
Yes. And that is it. You know, you stick with what is the word in the law. What is the word in the document of the land? He was demanding. Would someone say, oh, he's demanding because now he's a Kikuyu or so? I don't even know the tribe personally. And it doesn't even matter. Where did the judge not behave like what And this thing is a narrative being pushed by selfish politicians whose popularity are waning. Now they want to create a perception that the whole country is against the president except one region. No. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. You have a handful of some few people there. But when something is wrong, it must be called out. That is it. If it is wrong, it is wrong, irrespective of who has done it. And the reason why I'm saying that narrative is being used to justify some very ill activities. Most of the people being abducted after protests are actually from central Kenya. Yes. There was protest in Kitale. There was protest in Bungoma. There were protests in Mombasa. There were protests in Kitegela. There were protests in almost Nyeri, other places. There were protests in Machakos. Is it really true that it's only the Kikuyus who are protesting? Someone is using that to justify what I want to show here. And I'm wondering the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah. How do they feel when, you know, it's them who I'm even sympathizing for them, because they are going to be seen as betrayers. Watu wenye wanapigwa, people are running very fake narratives, and you're just there because simply you can get your salary. You should also speak out. And if something wrong, it is wrong. Peter Kawanjiru, the DCP youth leader, was arrested in Kiambu. He's associated with Rigathi Gachagua. Peter Kawanjiru is here. He's a leader, is a DCP youth leader, and people, of course, a charge sheet is being framed. We are not even sure, because the report is he's abducted, because he's not been presented to any court of law. He was arrested probably last night, and I think I have a soundbite of the wife documenting, just telling the country what happened.
Ilikuwa masaa ya 2:30. Nikasikia mlango imebishwa. Tulikuwa tushatokea kazini. Venye nilisikia mlango ikibishwa, nikaambiwa ati ni DCI kutoka Kiambu Road na wamekujia Kinyagia. Wakaniambia nifungue, mimi nikawaambia siwezi fungua mlango juu niko peke yangu na siwezi fungulia watu sijui wanataka nini, juu na wauliza wanataka nini, hawakuwa wanasema. Tukakaa wakaanza kubishana. Mimi nikasikia wanagonga mlango na machuma, wako na machuma kubwa kubwa, wakaanza kugonga mlango. Mimi nikaanza kupiga duru. Vile nilianza kupiga duru, wakaanza kuitana juu watu walikuja wengi sana.
Hakuna makosa amefanya. Niliwauliza ameua mtu, ameiba, wakasema wao wanafanya kazi yenye wametumwa. Nikawauliza mtu mmoja ndio umekuja na hizi magari zote? Wakazidi kupiga simu. Kuna watu walikuwa na communicate na wao, wakatumiwa magari, wakatumiwa polisi wengine. So ilikuwa scene mbaya sana sana. It take almost 4 hours kwa sababu watu walimuru na watu wa huku wote walikuwa wamekataa waingie. So wakakuja na marisasi na ku make the matter worse, wakifyatua risasi wanamurika, wanaacha wamekota kila kitu. Kuna pali walikuwa wanaacha evidence, pali atu wameshoot kitu.
And these are the things we're speaking about against. That when that is done, someone wants to justify, because, you know, the rest of the country should not be, and people have said, you know, the only people who can sustain a protest. I think what this country has experienced in the last few weeks is a testimony that no one can monopolize protests. And if Odinga thought that he was the champion of protests, then I think what happened in this country has confirmed that he was actually doing PE. I've always been saying that whatever he was doing is just a way to manufacture handshakes and get his cut from. So, look at the second one. Jackson Njuguna. Look at this photo. Jackson Njuguna went missing on Sunday. He was found unconscious just today morning. And you can look at the names being propelled. You will understand that someone is leading somewhere. I really believe that the people masquerading as peace and unity ambassadors those action, I think their words must be accompanied by actions. And those saying we need this country, unity. We need to unite, and so there should be nothing existing of us versus them. There should be no us versus them. I don't know how else maybe that needs to come out. A more worrying trend is even cabinet secretaries, especially from Nyanza, pushing this narrative. Now, looking to the terrible statements that Mbadi was making.
What happened in Nairobi on 25th, on Wednesday, and happened in some towns in Kenya, was clearly not a Gen Z revolution, not a Gen Z agitation, but rather clear ethnic mobilization. And I think we need to be very candid, unless we want to lose our country. If we keep quiet, that is the same way the Rwandese kept quiet and their country almost burns. If you check, if you followed where the demonstrations were conducted, Nairobi, for the first time, the only place where mammoth crowd was witnessed was along Thika Road. And we know why. Another place was Kitengela, the outskirts of Nairobi. We know why. Then you hear of Nyeri, Olkalau, Nyahururu, Kiambu. And then to make it worse, people attack police stations. People have demonstrated in this country from colonial period. There are very few instances where security organs and security installations have been attacked. We have demonstrated, we have even carried the sophorias on our heads. But we have never attacked a police station. We have never attacked the office of the DCC, the office of the county commissioner.
Come on. Come on. And you realize that Mbadi, Opio and I are talking more as if they were employed as government spokespersons. The other cabinet secretaries, kwani wale cabinet secretaries from Mount Kenya wamenyamaza. I've not heard Mutahi Kagwe talk. I've not heard Alice Wahome. Alice Wahome is a very good subscriber in this channel. I normally talk about affordable housing. I've never received any call from Alice Wahome saying, oh, Kevin, what you're saying is blah, blah. No. I've had their cabinet secretaries from other areas. We even have Mutua. We even in the coast. Come on. Kwani, what is so special with our Luo brothers from that side? Ama, it is now an excitement of the first time that they're getting to cabinet. Is it the first time that Luo is getting to cabinet? And sadly, you can see people who are supposed to be, people who are sitting in the topmost decision-making organ of the country pushing such a narrative. And it really wonder, what kind of monster are we dealing with? A man I highly respect, by the way, for some reasons I cannot say in this camera. Charles Owino appeared in a Citizen interview and actually was speaking rubbish about the hawker who was shot, only for that hawker later to be confirmed dead.
I've just told Senator that boy who was shot, who was carrying masks, Boniface Karaoke. It was a very simple exchange. The boy, if you listen to that clip closely, you'll hear that boy abusing the policeman, Koma Mamako. But you see, that is not something that should make you, you are an officer. You must have restraint. And shot him with a rubber bullet. And you can see what it has cost the image of the police so far. Basically, policemen are well trained on justifiable circumstances on use of firearms. And police officers are aware that every police officer will always find themselves in situations where they have to act on their own without opportunity to refer to their books or their superiors. You find yourself in an action, in a situation where you cannot go back to your book and start saying, oh, what are the justifiable circumstances of using my firearm? It is something that should be grown in you, and you should know when you should use it and when you should not use it.
So in such a case, what is the challenge?
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Equally, you are in a situation where you cannot ask your boss, can I shoot or not shoot? And that is why policemen take individual responsibilities. And that is why even the statement made by the minister, because as he has put it, the Constitution...
You know, someone listening to that will look at Charles Owino, his name, and look at the person he's defending. And then you're like, how can you say that, oh, alimtusi wapi? If you look at that video, Boniface was subdued. Ile situation yenye umekuwa confronted na polisi wawili. Do you think you can even, like, I don't know, all of us have seen that video. I don't know where the character, this character called Charles Owino, saw Boniface abusing the policeman. But because we want to push a narrative, we want to justify, this is not a route that the country should take. I just don't know what it takes, but of course, in this podcast, we stand with the truth. We stand with what is right. And it is not a route the country should actually take. And I'm saying that because ethnic vitriol cannot replace accountability. You know, the other side you say, let me be judged on track record. And then the other side of the mouth you say, the whole country is with me except people from Mount Kenya. Come on. I've just been saying, what we're dealing with is a monster that cannot be narrowed down to an individual. You'll be giving Rigathi more fodder and, making more prominent when you give him all these things happening. And I don't really believe that that is the stake. The pushback can even be more dangerous. Let me ask, how about if they also decide to push back against you? Because the whole thing looks like isolation. I've seen people justifying it. Luo bloggers have been paid to justify it. Raila Axis cannot sway the country back to President Ruto. Because, yes, Ruto is going to get his vote, Zake. Even though I've seen some politicians asking from where. I don't know also. I can also not pinpoint and tell you here and there. But then, Raila cannot sway. And the country cannot take that direction of 41 versus 1. It can't. And in fact, we should learn. The last time the country pushed 41 versus 1 in 2007, the country collapsed. We must be careful. This one, to my polished brothers from the lakeside, who are being employed to spend all the time, and I'm just wondering, people can work, what people went to school, being employed just to run, tribal vitriols morning to evening. Hey, you guys, this country is for all of us. Hata ukikula pesa, fikiria sana. Hiyo haiko. Thank you.